Board hearing scheduled in Wilmington on October 3rd, 2017. Officer. This is the matter of Watson versus Twisted Soul Restaurant, IAB number 1457006. It is an initial petition to determine compensation due, filed on May 8th, 2017. The date of entry in the case is April 16th, 2017. Michael I. Silverman, Esquire, represents the claimant. The employer, Twisted Soul Restaurant, is not present here this morning. No attorney has entered in appearance for the business. Notice was sent to Twisted Soul at 413 North Market Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. According to the track and confirm service from the Postal Service, that notice was unable to be delivered on the grounds of business closed. It was to be delivered the next delivery day the business is open. That was as of September 14th, and that's the last update. However, I will note that the board's file has shown a signed green card for other notice having been received at that address. Matter is scheduled to be heard at 9 o'clock. We are now at 9:10. Mr. Silverman.
Thanks. I represent George Watson. Mr. Watson is seated here in the witness chair. He was employed on April 16, 2017 at Twisted Soul Restaurant as a prep cook. While in that capacity, he unfortunately suffered a burn, a bad burn on his right arm and forearm. He was out of work beginning that period of time and embarked on a course of care and treatment to include burn care and wound care. He also suffered and continues to suffer from a mental health issue resulting from this work accident, which is generally under the umbrella of a post-traumatic stress disorder. At the time of the accident, he was making $9 per hour, and we will discuss the number of hours average that he worked in a week. What we're seeking is a period of total disability. He has since been able to return back to work, where unfortunately he's not working in his chosen line of his chosen profession, which is culinary arts, but he is currently working as a flagger. So there's a limited or closed period of total disability. I also have medical expenses for which I'll submit the bill. I am holding a bill from trauma and rehabilitation amount of $370. There are some additional expenses which at some later point in time, as those bills come in, we will submit those as well. But for today, the medical bills are $370. And that is what we'll be seeking.
Okay. Very well. I will just note for the record that pursuant to Title 19, Section 2348C, unless excused for good cause shown, failure of any or all parties in interest to appear at a duly scheduled hearing or to petition for a continuance shall bar such parties from any further action concerning an adverse decision, a decision by default, or a dismissal of the petition. As I noted, Twisted Soul sent notice of this hearing. They have not participated in this litigation. I will also note for the record that previously parties were in seeking a bond. The employer did not show up for that bond hearing either. The bond order was for $25,000, I believe. I'm supposed to now, but yes, on August 10th. So far as I am aware, I do not believe that that bond has been posted. I understand Mr. Watson is here to give me some details, but I gather that basically you are requesting a default judgment.
That's correct.
Okay, but just to fill out the background details, Mr. Watson, I will swear you in for some testimony.
Sure.
Actually, could you please stand for a moment, just to hold messages?
Okay.
Wish you may place your hand on the Bible. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Now you can be seated again. You could just state your full name for the record.
My name is George Earl Watson, Jr.
Mr. Watson, just a few questions for you. Will you tell our hearing officer how you were hurt, please?
Yes, I was hurt by a young man playing in the kitchen and spilling grits on me down the right side of my body, hot grits that were boiling and bubbling.
Was that in the course of your employment at Twisted Soul?
Yes, it was.
What was your job function there?
My job function there was a chef,
Okay.
not a prep cook. I've been in the industry for over 25 years, and I would never take a job as a prep cook being 44 years old.
So I appreciate you taking a shot at me because I said prep cook, and for that, I apologize.
It's okay.
But I'm a big boy, I can take that shot.
That's all right.
But thank you for, that's right, George. Thank you for correcting me on that.
All right.
Was I correct in telling our hearing officer that at the time of the accident, you were working at $9 an hour?
No, that's not correct.
Okay. What was your wage?
I was working at $14.75.
Okay. And what was your average number of hours that you anticipated working per week?
My anticipated hours working per week were over 60 hours a week.
Okay.
I was working 12-hour day shifts.
And as I understand it, you were unable to return back to work after the April 16, 2017 incident, correct?
Correct.
At some point, you were able to return back to some form of work, and as I indicated in opening statement, not your chosen profession, but you returned back to work as a flagger, correct?
Correct.
And for how long were you out? And I know you don't have the exact date, but as best as you can help us in understanding, when did you return back to work?
I returned back to work the first week after school, so that would be September, between somewhere in early September.
Okay. I'm going to look at the calendar on my phone and tell you what date I think that is. All right. Labor Day would have been the 5th, so the first work day after Labor Day would have been the 6th.
So I think I started on the 8th.
Okay, that would have been Thursday.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's correct.
Sorry.
Could you run those dates by me again?
Oh, return to work 9/8/17. That was the Thursday of Labor Day week.
Thursday is the 7th.
Wait a second. You think that?
Well, this calendar thinks that.
Oh, hold on.
2017 is the current year? Just saying.
I object to that. I may have had the date wrong, because someone may have put the wrong year on my phone, someone.
Okay.
I apologize, Mr. Watson. The 7th appears to be the date.
Okay.
All right. Tried to sneak another day in there.
Yeah.
All right, so it is 9/7, which is that Thursday, September 7th, which is that Thursday.
Yes.
Of the year 2017.
Mhm.
I can tell you, based upon very high-level information, that in 2016, that would have been the correct date, but in 2017, the 7th of September is the correct date.
All right.
Having said that, Mr. Watson, and with all kidding aside, you're also continuing to suffer from a mental health issue, which is sort of under the umbrella of a post-traumatic stress disorder, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you're continuing to seek care and treatment through connections for that?
Yes.
All right.
And I'm using Medicaid state services
Okay, thank you.
in order to pay for those treatments
Thank you.
and also the medicines that are needed to treat the post-traumatic stress disorder.
Being paid by and through Medicaid?
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of that, you went for the wound care and the burn to Dr. Bandera at Trauma and Rehabilitation, correct?
Correct.
And obviously he makes a bill when you go see him?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Watson, with your permission, I'm going to hand up a bill for $370 from his office, okay?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Godwin, with your permission, may I hand that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will mark that as Claimants Exhibit 1.
Very well.
And I also have other doctor bills also that need to be submitted.
Right.
That because of the employer not having insurance, the claim number that goes for all the doctor's bills and everything has been put on hold because they were waiting to get in touch with them.
I think everybody here understands that, unfortunately.
Yes.
But no problem with you adding that, thank you.
Mr.
speaking of adding things, Mr. Watson, those are the questions that I wanted to ask. Is there anything that you wish to add so that our hearing officer would know that from you?
Yes,
You're welcome to, but again, I've asked you what I needed to ask. If there's something you want to tell us, you're welcome to.
yes. Being in a position that I'm in, as far as a culinary artist, I started out in middle school, in high school, with a vocational program, and then I went to school for. After I got out, I went to school for hotel and restaurant management. Then I returned for more schooling for culinary arts and personal chef. And I've owned businesses. I've worked for catering companies, dining halls, wedding halls. I've done corporate. I've done private. I've done everything on every level. But this injury is the worst injury that I've ever received in all my life. And being now that I have post-traumatic stress disorder, I have to have a fight with opiates for the rest of my life. And I really don't understand why they wouldn't show up, why they have no representation, and they changed my pay rate from $14.75 to $9 an hour. I have been nothing but willing when I walked in and made an agreement with them to become their employee. And they've done everything that they can possibly to disrespect me in the state of Delaware for you know.
Mr. Watson, a couple questions about what you just said. In what area of the culinary arts is your specialty?
I'm a chef and a sous chef. That means that, and I can also be a executive chef because I've done that also.
What, if you were making us dinner tonight, what are your best dishes?
Probably Marsalis, cacciatore, or I don't know. I'm good. I can do anything. I can make ice cream. I'm like I went to a school that taught you how to battle in the kitchen and how to come up with nothing from everything.
No, you got to come up with something from nothing.
No, you have everything that you have.
Oh, okay.
I go look at it,
Yeah.
and then I bring you something.
This is like chopped from.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Watson. I
Yes.
appreciate your coming and talking to us about these things. I have no further questions, and I appreciate you addressing us on those topics.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Watson, I will say that these situations are irritating at the very least, even for the department. When an employer, first of all, right off the top, doesn't have workers' comp insurance, this is the situation that happens. They don't come in, we don't see them, we have little means to drag it out of them. The purpose of workers' comp is to take care of workers, take care of people who are injured while frankly making money for the employer.
Yes.
I do know that the department has a separate action going on against the restaurant for their failure to have workers' comp insurance. And we'll be pursuing that as well. And if they don't come on board and get that, at least it won't help you, but for future workers of theirs, the department will chase after them and try their best to see that they stop. It's all we can do, but it's the basic rule. If you have someone who's not gonna follow the law, it's hurtful, and it frustrates us, and I'm sure it frustrates Mr. Silverman on his side.
So did
I understand what you're saying, but the department, above and beyond your personal, the department is going after this employer to get them to come into compliance. And as we do with other employers, if we learn that they don't have workers' comp insurance, we chase after them to get them in compliance as best we can. But the trouble is, we have no easy way of knowing what companies do or do not have workers' comp insurance unless we have the unfortunate situation of an injured worker. We try to catch it before that happens, but we're still not limited in how we can do that. So, I just point out, we do understand your frustration with them, it is shared.
Okay.
I'll waive closing, I will hand out an affidavit for attorney's fees.
So it would be appropriate.
And with this closing and them not being able to go back and go into this or open it back up, will I be compensated financially?
That's- Well, first off, we want to keep an eye on this closing concept, as it seems some days they claim to be closed and some days they claim to be open. So I'm not sure we quite buy that they're closed.
Are you talking about the same thing?
No, I'm talking about,
You're talking about the case. and
I'm talking about this case closing
Oh.
and me being able to be compensated by the state of Delaware for actually being an employee of somebody who was backed by the Chamber of Commerce, you know.
The way our law is set up, the compensation has to come from the employer. So, and that's what your attorney is working on. You will get a judgment here, that judgment can then be brought to, registered with the Superior Court as a lien on the property and a judgment lien that could be executed on, but there's a lot of steps to go, but your compensation will come from the employer,
Okay.
not the state of Delaware itself.
Okay.
Where, that's what Delaware's workers' comp is set up, the state doesn't, as a general rule, doesn't pay unless, of course, the state happens to be the employer.
Okay.
But each employer is responsible for paying benefits, so it's on them.
All right. Thank you.
That concludes.
Okay, that we will go off record.